and discuss the game. We played already a couple moves. This exact position we had like 2 times earlier already, I think. Then I always played with knight h6, but after our last game, I think it's that moment I decided that I want to switch it up. Okay, they seem not at all surprised, maybe. I thought they maybe would take a second. So now, we can sort of transpose. And I guess I have quite some games with this position, but with a knight b3 instead. Oh, I need to close this still. You can see his chat like this. No, not anymore. I think the music is good. I'll keep it like that. Okay, so what are my plans in this position? Of course, I need to look out for my dark squares, which are very weak with giving up this bishop. Often I want to play with queen e5, but I'm not really threatening to take on c3. It's more that the queen still is just well placed over there. I'm more often I'm gonna more target the c4 pawn with moves like bishop e6, rook c8, sometimes knight e5 or knight e4 or knight a5. And that pawn I will cap if I get a chance. Also I think this queen e5, which I think the theory is or bishop d3 or f3. Then probably, I think, if I remember correctly, I will play with queen a5. That is more for against c5, which I want to avoid. I want to avoid that they trade this very weak c pawn against my d pawn. I want to keep, of course, these pawns are all 3 very weak. Oh, it looks like there are a lot of people watching, but I guess that's because we are on TV. But I will share. I guess, normally it should. Let me check. Okay. Guess they can just see it right here that I'm streaming. So I don't know if you are here in stream, but I recognize Omertel here, NXN. I recognize that name. Jonav, of course, who already was here before the game. And then probably maybe some other names I don't recognize, but mostly TV, I guess. Let's make sure it's shared on stream. Live right now. Oh. Shit. Okay, so now, yeah. I'm kind of surprised that they blitzed out this knight c3. So, yeah, I would have been delaying developing my knight. So, but like the main lines, white also delays developing their knight and first completes their kingside development, and then only after this knight or moves to d2, then I would play with knight f6, or also after knight e3 I would play with knight f6. So bishop d3, okay. Let's make sure that now double thinking if it's with still queen e5 is the move here, or it's maybe knight e5. Since yeah, after I given up this bishop, like this bishop can sometimes be like a bad piece in the Maróczy, but here I often want to trade it off with this structural change, since they often will want to like just sack a pawn and get this bishop to a nice diagonal. So knight e5. Oh, I don't remember. Like, I know after f3 is queen e5, but now, since now both queen e5, where I may be threatening to take on c3, since after bishop d2, this bishop will be hanging too. But knight e5 makes a lot of sense too. To yeah, attack this bishop, which is yeah, it's not that comfortable for them. So what will they play after knight e5? Hi Limuel, I recognize now also. It's in the game chat. Don't know if you are in the stream too, but need to not be that distracted, but right now it's okay. Still enough time. So is there anything like a downside of playing with knight e5? Of course, yeah. Like they can play back with bishop e2, and maybe in some lines, since probably I don't really want to take that pawn. Although maybe I want. I think I want to play with knight e5. Don't really see the downside. Can it be that I can play with some bishop h6? Which is sometimes a bit uncomfortable. But yeah, then maybe I then play queen a5. That looks interesting. Okay. Need to make one of the moves. Both look very tempting, so I think it's practical to make just one of them. Change it to. So this is my first time. Don't know. Did I say this? I know I said it yesterday, but I don't think I said it already today. That I'm streaming my own game of 45. I have like streamed a lot of quest games and Chess 960 and Rapid Battle, but I was always like a bit afraid to stream my 45 game, since I felt like sometimes in the opening like there is only so much to talk about when you are still in prep. But yeah, we will see how it goes today. I'm mostly out of prep anyway now, so it shouldn't be that big a problem, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna pull on some jacket. It's a little bit cold out of here. I need to show that I'm a runner, right? Oh, you're above 20 people watching the game. Oh, I forgot my butter. Okay, so bishop h6, that was is an tempting idea. So now queen a5. Don't think they can reply with bishop c7, since I think I check and that looks uncomfortable. I probably can then just trade. Let's say they can block back with the bishop. Yeah, the bishop would already be on g7, so that's not even a move. And don't think I want to trade directly, since now, yeah, this is just uncomfortable. It could be that I should have castled. That's always an option, of course. But yeah, let's say queen e5. Think they probably maybe will castle, and they can also just play queen d2. Or can they? Since, yeah, there would become some tactics possible, but maybe they're not really working. At least, like, if I play queen a5, they play queen d2, and I play then knight e3. Then I at least win a tempo. That's always nice to win temples. But I still can't, yeah, I can underestimated queen d2 as a reply. I feel there is a lot like them loose in the right position, but can't really figure out how to make use of it. So queen e5, queen d2. Can play with queen c5, some sort of threatening knight u4, but yeah, probably shouldn't have allowed it. It's still not the end of the world to allow this bishop g5 7 stuff. In some lines it's okay, but maybe not sure this is one of those. Like I can play knight u4 and then queen b6, but then they can just include castling. Yeah, with bishop c7 included. But that way at least they will not be able to mess up my castle position. Like they will not be, let's say I do it, yeah, it doesn't really even matter which of the knights. Sell queen d2 also would defend against that. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't. So then rook g1, and I can't castle anymore, but I can castle by hand after, like, the, let's say they trade on f6 or e5, I don't know. And then their structure is weak. So maybe that's an option. So queen a5, queen d2. Let's say I take, they take. Knight g4, bishop g7. I can't then, like, let's say queen c5, since they play bishop d4 and then next take here. So that doesn't work anymore with the both knights off the board. Queen a5, bishop d, queen d2, bishop e6. Bishop c7, rook g8. Let's say the take. How bad is that for me? I still have the right to call still long, of course, but they have already one open file, but only one. Maybe that's not that bad. And they will have a lot of weaknesses in their position. Bishop g4, that doesn't do anything. They still just play queen d2, which they anyway already wanted to play. Looks, I somehow am no longer on TV, which is a bit unusual, but doesn't matter. Like, is there some sort of like big maneuver with queen a5? Well, what I was saying in some lines. No, that's something different. So let's say queen a5, queen d2, take, knight g4. Oh no, they are not castled in those lines, so that doesn't work. Hello, ooh, that's with no of my knights anymore on this diagonal. After knight g4, bishop g7, rook g8, the bishop sort of will be out of squares. It will only have d4, after which I can play with e5, bishop e3, and take it. Then my d6 pawn will be backward pawn, but they will have all those weaknesses. I also will be uncastled in that position. Or is anyway. Can I, like, in that position, is my king safe? Because yeah, this knight will be very fast to d5 in those positions. Do I want to? Is there a way where I don't want to play queen a5? Don't think. So I expect queen d2. I can also think about castling, but I think queen d2 looks better. And I'm really not. There are a lot of candidates for me, but I'm not sure which one. Like IDs with knight c4 and knight e4 are also in the position, but I couldn't really work them out. Okay, let's try to calculate that one. Let's say they play queen d2. I take on c4. I assume they will need to take. I play knight e4. Probably it doesn't feel like enough. This bishop also now is still on this diagonal, so it can just block in some lines. I guess I win 3 pawns in that variation. So it's not the most silly thing in the world. But my knight maybe is also... Ah no, it doesn't work in the end. It just loses in the end. So knight c4. Yeah, so queen d2 now first. I was saying, let's say I take on c4, I take on e4, they play queen d3. I can now like play on take on c3, they capture, but in the end you have a fork on this diagonal. But this kind of ideas are in the position too. Like, let's say if they play queen d2, I play bishop e6, and after knight g7, those ideas then start to make more sense. So let's say take, knight e4, probably something like queen d3. Not really right. But maybe, yeah, it's just that maybe I just gonna cap on c4. So I play bishop e6, they play bishop c7, rook g8, I probably need to take here, and then I'm threatening to take on c4. I can play already castle long then, to protect my d6 weakness. You can also play with queen e6, e7 in these positions. I guess, yeah, they really want to get in knight b4, knight e5, or knight e3, knight e5 once they cap on on f6. Oh. I just realized if anyone knows how you can, I think I will try to like put scroll. Knight b4. I guess that's also an option to block like this. Okay. Of course, knight d5 now becomes an option. But can't I now like play one of the knights to g4? Probably this one. They probably play bishop c7 and I play queen c5. And I guess they can castle then. But then at least I can grab this pawn. Oh no, then at that position my rook is hanging. So knight g4. Bishop c7 probably forced. Queen c5. Think they are forced to castle. And they could also play with queen d2, and after I take with the knight back, but that feels off. The knight doesn't want to go to d3, it wants to go to d5. I want to do. I need to check that after stream. How to put scroll lock on. So I think this is my main candidate. Knight g4, bishop c7, queen c5. I think castling. Of course. Yeah, they can play with queen d2, since, well, they don't really want to take with a knight on d3. At that position they are attacking my rook, so that's kinda a problem, of course. Can't really like just lose a rook. Although it's still no, I guess no. What damn is he saying? saying some nonsense here, I feel. Knight g4, bishop c7, queen c5. I think castling, but queen d2 is probably an option too. But yeah, I think I can just play with rook g8, and if I need to take this knight, I can then like grab this knight back, something. And I will just manually castle. I guess they have queen h6 ID sometimes then. But I'm probably just having too much of their weak pawns. Also, I assume, and so in the position, like at some point, if they play with queen d2, they really need to make sure there is no a5 working. Since if this knight moves, then I can cap on d3, and then that pawn. Yeah, I know that is probably a bit too tricky. I should that's to do in where I can show variations. So I think I go for this knight with g4. I want to keep pressure on the bishop with this knight. And this, I want next probably put my queen on c5. Could also, queen b6 could also be that knight e3 doesn't come with tempo. But the queen in general prefers to be on c5. But yeah, I need to like check that. Yeah, this is getting a very tactical position. Yeah, but queen b6 feels so off. Since also knight d5 would be with tempo. The queen belongs on c5, where it would be on a really nice square. Put pressure on their weaknesses. It can only get attacked by the knight on d3, but it's not a square the knight wants to be on. The knight wants to go to d5. Of course, they can put pressure with the rook, but yeah, probably at some point I would include a6. Or rook on d5, but again then bishop e6. So the queen is, like, assuming this bishop will be gone, the queen is on a very stable square on c5. Both like being active and not overextended. Okay, so do they have any other moves except bishop g7? Guess they can theoretically play with queen d2. But that would be, then I for sure want to take on d3, They would then need to take with the knight. I kept no, that just loses on the spot. Since I then just kept first on d3, they need to take with the knight. I kept the bishop, they need to take with the queen, and then I would give this deadly check. I guess it wouldn't be like game over, lost, since they could. Okay, bishop c7 as expected. Is a reason I don't want to include queen c5 first before moving my rook. Don't think so. Also, like, whenever like the queen ends up on d2 and they castle, so let's assume they will take on e5. I take back with the knight. There will be bishop h3 ideas in the position. Not sure how good they will be, but they will be in the position. It could be. No, maybe not that great, but. I guess there is something to be said to be flexible and just play rook c8. Like, is there anything like don't see. Like, for example, queen c5 and they castle. Like, castle is anyway a move they want to make. I assume, like, with this knight no longer on the board and I apply with queen c5, they could delay castling a bit, but it looks very risky to do that. Let's make the flexible move. Maybe if I go with rook c8, can they queen d2, queen h6? Do first before castling? Not really. I will have knight v3 and this will be hanging. But yeah, maybe when I play king f8, which is a But maybe I will not play with king f8 and instead play with f6 and king f7 to not allow this to be with a check. Also, I'm not like in a hurry to play to get my maybe I will be first pressuring these pawns. Yeah, I need to, since okay, let's go for rook g8. There's anyway not really a way to avoid playing this move. Okay. That's one I could have pre-moved. I could have gained like for the instant move. So now they could play with like queen d2. But yeah, maybe after king d2 I just take this bishop. And like my queen not really needs to go to c5. Yeah, my position like looks slightly dubious, but guess they now could be thinking about moves like bishop e2, which was not maybe less the case when I had included queen c5 earlier. Although I don't think they are ever in time to like go for bishop e2 f4. I just play bishop e6. Putting more pressure on the c4 pawn. It's not even that like f4 is threatening to win a piece. I always have knight c6 at the least. So I assume castling is a logical move. Let's say I play bishop e6. What's their next move? Knight e5. Can I then just take and play queen c3, or is that a bit too greedy? It will be with tempo on this bishop, so that makes it at least an option. Yeah, I think despite like if I now could, if I have in this position my king on g7, it could be that I'm just positionally winning, I think. Like these pawns are so weak on the c file. They have like they don't really have any real attack. And this bishop, okay, so they go for castling, much logical move of course. So I now can play my plan with king f8 since they can't really stop king g7 now. It could be the safe way to play the position. But who wants to play safe? Guess it's f4 now, an ID. Probably not really, since I can play with queen c5 and then maybe knight g4. What's their big idea after this move? And now I see, after bishop e6, knight e5, take, queen c3, they will have bishop e5, which is a little bit uncomfortable. So but in that position, like, instead of taking on c3, can also just trade the bishops, play king f8, say you have a backward pawn, I have no weaknesses, my king is for now slightly oddly placed, but I will fix it soon. I think I like that idea. Yeah, those games with taking on c3 early with the bishop, those are always, I find, really interesting, complex positions. I'm gonna take a little break to the restroom. Be right back. Okay, back. Let's see what's here. Okay. Need to be aware of my time usage. Already down to 20 minutes. But I feel like it was time well spent. Now we sort of, it become more clear, like, what the game will be about. I have an idea with the plan. Like, my plans are quite straightforward. I just want to gang up on the c4 pawn and take it. And there's very little they can do about it. I just have more attackers than they ever can have defenders. The only real thing they can do is, yeah, just give it and say that's better for them. Oh yeah, putting this knight on d5. That's also an option. But then I will start, yeah, there will be another one behind it. And of course, yeah, they can have ideas against my king. But nah, I guess this king d, queen d2, queen h6 idea is still on the cards. So I need to look out for that still a bit. But maybe so. Okay, they go for knight d5, which is where the knight wants to be. But I don't think I want to live with that knight. I think I want to trade. Both captures are an option. Probably then gonna, since this bishop will get alive, probably gonna trade it too. And then I'm just gonna get my king to g7 and be happy. Guess there's still like or do I need to want more from this position? It's possible, but since, yeah, maybe after I have taken on d3, getting the queen to h3 could be a nice square. Oh, I don't think you can see this, hopefully, but I did something stupid. Where I have now something over my screen, and I never know how to remove it. Okay, no, that's not it, but it's gone. Okay, so let's say we capture. They do one of the captures. I take the bishop, they take with the queen. I play king f8. I can also castle long, but that feels... Why would I do that to myself? King f8. Then this queen h3 feels an idea. Queen g7. King g7. And then they have queen d7. Like attacking a lot of my weaknesses. That's sort of not nice. Okay, so how do I deal with that? Could also say I don't care about this h7 pawn, but is that so? Don't think I'm speaking the truth if I say that. So maybe I need. Okay. How do I deal with that? I need to get my stall. I need to find a way to get my king to safety. Take. Don't think I can live with that. Bishop. After the double trade, there's not really a threat yet. I guess it depends a bit with which pawn they capture. Their pawn I capture with the c pawn. Maybe can play with f6. Keep my king protecting the e7 pawn. And then if they play queen h3, I can play with h5. And if they then want to go back to this h6 plan, then I have multiple options then. And if they take with the e pawn instead, now their structure got a lot weaker. Then maybe then I say I don't care about your activity. I'm gonna just scabble all your pawns. Also, okay, I think I need to play it practically. I'm already 15 minutes down on the clock. So yeah, we already played one time a marathon game of over 100 moves. It was complete. I dare to say my own game was like a 54 classic. I think Shunav was there too back then. I think I checked it. I think he was in chat at one point for that game. Shunav. I never know how to pronounce it. So, also question, like after their capture, am I threatening to take on a5? It's a little bit crazy, but maybe I just can capture that. Although, again I'm threatening this bishop. No, I'm not really threatening this bishop b5, king f8, and then they have rook c1. Which is... But after they take with the e pawn, then I maybe yeah, after they take with the e pawn, then they probably need to take with the c pawn, I guess. Since queen a4 check, I don't think I'm afraid of. I think I happily play king f8. I anyway wanted to play that. And the bishop. Okay. They take with the c pawn. So now there is this bishop b5. But now it feels like I can... And now this bishop isn't a bad piece anymore, right? It has no... a nice b5 square. Fail. And now just gonna trade. So now I think like the idea of, oh, I can still say this is a good knight versus a bad bishop. Don't think it's like the most outrageous claim ever. So maybe I play with f6. And there could be some like rook b1 IDs, both attacking the b7 pawn and maybe something nasty on b5. I can play king f8, preempting any check, and then I'm maybe threatening to take on c3. But then queen d3, then queen d2. Yeah, then at least I win a tempo compared to some other lines. That's nice. And if they play f4, what do I do? Yeah, I always have this nice square for the knight too. I even like knight e7 in this position is for sure a candidate too. So f4. Like, is there any like big breakthrough for them? Don't really think. I think I play king f8, king g7. Maybe they're gonna play bishop e2. I'm not sure about like this bishop never can be better than my knight, right? Feels wrong to trade him off. And you will see then in the end it will bite me, but I decided now. Yeah, rook b1. Then I play queen c3 hide. I think if they move the queen, then I will be more inclined to just trade the knights and then I win the tempo. Compared to the earlier lines. So after rook b1, queen c3, bishop e2, like b6 is then rook c1 and entering a bit annoying. Kinda looks somewhat annoying. Okay, f4. So now the question is, do I now go for trading or not? I of course can include queen c5. Since okay, my knight will here, but maybe their attack can be like a little bit annoying. Or is it really? Is it more like a phantom attack? It's a difficult decision, since both look really good. So let's say I take, play rook c8, and then maybe can play with rook b1. Probably not, since I think I have a check, and they can't like use any pins or anything with queen d2, since I have queen c5. And if they need to defend this pawn passively, that should be a win for me. Maybe there was more already, but it still feels good. Need to make sure the earlier queen h3 is now not back on the cards, since it will be with tempo on my rook. So queen g7, bishop, queen d7. Yeah, that's still, I guess no, now I have just rook c7 in those lines, kicking the queen back, and there's not really anything happening. Oh, what I'm doing. So rook c8, yeah, that looks good. Putting pressure on their weakness. Let's see how they want to defend it. Like, I feel everything is sort of, maybe rook f3 to keep the rook still active on the f file, but then they maybe could be, yeah, that's an interesting idea, at least. Not sure what I will do against that. And then this rook becomes unprotected, but don't see really a way to use it. Good, yeah, the back rank becomes a bit weak then, but also hard to use that. So yeah, probably I like rook f3. But at least now I have stopped those earlier queen h. But yeah, I don't think queen h3 now any longer was on the cards. It was in some other variations that it could be a little bit tricky. Yeah, always having like a check here is nice. I was thinking maybe is it good to include it earlier, but like, yeah, getting the king further away in some endgames of course can be nice, but I think I prefer the flexibility of it. Yeah, and now, yeah, anyway, now it's no longer, since queen c5, they probably be just blocked with queen d4, I think. So let's make sure that after any rook to b1, that rook c3 is working. It's hard to see how it wouldn't be working. Since I feel, yeah, the queen always needs to give up something, or it defends this diagonal on. Okay, they go for that one. What I sort of was expecting. Do I now continue with king g7? So after rook b1, I'll probably just play b6, I think, to and rook b5 I can just cap this pawn. Of course, yeah, one idea would be now to open up over here, but for now I'm not super afraid of that. Also, yeah, e5 similarly, but I feel like my king is now decently safe. Oh, I kinda blundered queen d4. It's not like a big issue, but it's now a check. But I think I just play f6 then. But yeah, so ideas where like I give a check. Now they can block with check, which is an important detail. Like, it will be not like any on the spot losing check, but like it will force me to trade queens, which in some variations I of course don't want to do. Okay. Which candidate moves do they have? Yeah, mostly including this rook, but yeah, they need to make sure they don't lose the a2 pawn, which, except, yeah, rook b1, I think I probably don't want to take it. But against all other moves of the rook I probably want. So rook b1, and then I was planning b6 to like solidify my weakness and leave them with those two weaknesses. Then the other options are f5 and e5, I guess, and queen d4. Queen d4 I will answer with f6. And I don't think it's a big problem. Maybe then they can follow it up with e5. Okay, that's at least an idea. Yeah, that's for sure an idea. Which I should have looked at better earlier. So queen d4, queen d4, f6, e5. I assume I take one. Maybe I just ignore it. There's not really a threat at the moment at that position. So what if I just ignore it and not exactly ignore it, but maybe something like rook d8, suggesting that I maybe next will take on d5, or I could play queen c5 in that position, saying now the endgame will be good for me. Maybe the endgame in general. Yeah, it's of course like the fact they will never trade. Let's say in any moment we have both those moves, they will never trade. Since that will be a really good endgame for me. But yeah, if I trade then their pawn structure, I think I still have the better pawn structure in that endgame, but it will be in a rook endgame will be maybe tricky to win. But yeah, you can still and then this rook, maybe if the c pawn is no longer is it become a d pawn, then this rook easily can shift. Well, let's say if we get the queens off in this position, now this rook looks a little bit strange here on f3. I would say it's just purely defensive piece. So let's look at that line a little bit deeper. Queen d4, f6, e5. Let's say I play rook d8, getting my rook opposite their queen. Like, I don't think they can ever play with e6 completely closing it. And my queen side play will be way too strong. If they trade here. Okay, now the e-file is a bit weak. So that could be a reason that I instead play with rook e8. But rook e8, if they don't trade, doesn't do that much. And I always probably always in time to if they trade, they take the e-file, I just challenge the e-file. I don't see that big a problem there with that. Since while trading a couple of their majors, their weaknesses will become only bigger weaknesses. But in those lines also my 7th will become weak, so it will be hard to win too. But like, let's say queen d4, f6, e5. If I now play queen c5, can that be like a nice subtle move? I don't really like want to trade yet, but the moment they decide to trade either way, then I'm probably threatening to trade, since then it will be two very weak pawns. And also the queen is always pinned, so at any moment I can decide to trade queens, and probably they never can decide to trade queens, since I have yeah, the rook endgame is just without this change in structure is probably just horrible for them. So that's okay. At least I'm catching up a bit on time. Like I always do this in over the board games too, so I'm gonna preemptively already go take a restroom break, so that I in time trouble don't need to go. Whew. Back before they made a move. Time to get a little snack too. So let's say instead they try to break directly. Like, is f5 ever a problem? How do I want to reply to f5? I'm not sure. It feels positionally off to play with f5, since yeah, it just gives me back give me the dark squares, but there are no miners anymore to exploit the dark square. So, but yeah, let's say after f5, and not really, then the queen trade would be even worse anyway, but probably maybe harder to get in, since then my king would have a wonderful square on e5. So let's say f5. What do I do? Rook c5, I guess is an option. Since yeah, I sort of want to like preemptively already block the f-file with f6. Okay, they play f5. The problem is Yeah, there is like at f6 I'm saying I think I want to play with f6. Like what is it? What are they even like doing then after f6? Since there is now never any e5 breaks anymore. Maybe I trade. No. Maybe I can sometimes use the H file. Doesn't look that threatening for now, but you never know. Sometimes I will also play next with g5. And g5 looks at least... I think closing it up on the king side is good for me, since I'm just way stronger on the queen side. But there are some weaknesses over here, but like maybe a timely, like if they can get a timely e5 in, like my head's off. I would really like it for them. Of course we'll try to stop it with such impossible moves to get in. That's always nice. And do they even start pushing more pawns? But yeah, I can just like do complete blockade on the dark squares. And what are they gonna do about it? They can like use the h4 pawn too, but I do it g5, h6. I guess they maybe can start with h4. That could be, maybe that's the way to do it. Since now I don't really want to play g5, and also not really h6 of course, since then maybe they could take. Although it could also not be the end of the world, allowing, so let's say h6 and then allowing them to take on g6. My king will be then completely safe. I will never capture that one, only like in endgames I would capture it. They could like cement it with h5, but I think like that pawn, although yeah, maybe it's maybe a bit tricky, since then forever my king will be stuck. It wouldn't be ideal. So h4 here surely is a candidate for them, also giving them a little better flight square. They have f2, but that's of course not a safe square, while h2 would be a way safer square. And stopping any g5 ideas of me. And then yeah. So h4, h6, take with the pawn. And then yeah, they next probably want to play h5. And then I need to show I have something. Which yeah, I probably have, but is it enough? Since I feel I always will win one of these, but I then probably want to maybe, yeah, like from when we have like h5 g6 structure of white, like my king is forever stuck, or I need to be able to somehow cap that h pawn, which is like quite far to get to. I guess sometimes I could be also like thinking about taking myself and just playing king h8. It's something I also need to consider. I was like, not even there. That was already on this move an option, but yeah, I feel like I don't have that much on this G file. But yeah, they need to at every move look out for that. For example, after I play something like rook c5, then it already becomes more an option. Since if I take here, then or I will be the capture with the rook, and I will be threatening the c pawn, or the capture with the pawn, and I will be threatening the d pawn. So, and in those ideas where so after h4 become then those options more interesting or not? Probably they would become more interesting. So since the reason why often the G file will not be that threatening is they can just play G3 and yeah, what is my rook really doing on the G file? But after H4, yeah, they still can play G3 in this current position, but that would be like way softer. So I took the time advantage. So because they feel also that their position is difficult to play, which I agree. I think also I don't know how far they were aware that like I was not just freestyling and like blundered in Thompson that yeah, a positional blunder, let's say, but that I was that I knew what I was doing. Rook h3. What's that about? That feels just wrong. I guess they sometimes want to like and are there any like I don't see it. Are they threatening anything? Guess maybe queen e3, but then I have queen c5. But that means that I maybe don't want to play rook c5, that's also my first candidate. But after like rook c5, queen e3, don't I have just g5? Maybe queen here instead. Yeah, I can close it, but like maybe they then play something like here. Or do I just play rook c7, play it slow? Oop. Also, sort of keep their rook likely stuck. I guess they could decide to just give up the a2 pawn. It's a very viable idea. These sacks are not working, right? can't imagine it. Taking and then... Or I can just challenge. Guess with my rook off the backhand, that's a little bit less, but... And if I play queen c5, don't think now queen d4 is an option in this current position. I trade, I take on f5. And those pawns look horribly weak. So probably they need to go to h1, but like now, yeah, it stopped queen e3 IDs, but I don't really stop queen f3 or queen g3 IDs. Rook c7. I guess. Just if there is nothing here, then that feels right. Okay. So, I guess these are the two main moves I need to look at. Guess queen d2 is also an option. Queen d2 with the same ID. Probably then I play anyway g4. I guess then they can shift one up. But even... yeah, maybe. Like maybe there's an idea to like induce g5 and then get the queen to h5. But yeah, I can also I don't need to like play with h6. I can leave this pawn on h7, play my rook on h8, and they're never really threatening to take here. They can get in like get the queen to h6, go here, back here, and I just slither my king to there. Guess I need to like be a bit precise with that. Maybe I can get the impossible break in. It looks hard, but to defend the h7 pawn. But yeah, with those in those lines, I will already, yeah, also after rook c3, like after they don't defend with the queen this pawn, I'm just threatening. I just take you, and with one attacker less, there is already no attack anymore. So I guess I'm assuming the only option is really to go for just give up that a2 pawn. And the question is, do I take it or not? Maybe I say I don't want the a2 pawn, I want the c3 pawn. Is a viable argument, I think. Since mostly when I can capture on c3, I'm threatening to trade away some attackers. While on a2, I've won every endgame at that point, but those I'm anyway probably winning. Okay. I think I'm pretty sure they should go for some active player, and I don't care about this a2 pawn, and then it can be tricky. It's always like, when do I say it's time to run? Like, give up one pawn here, win one here, and then run to d7. Although still on d7, it just still will be not like super safe. They probably the queen will be in then, and then they can maybe check on e6. Okay, they are getting really low on time. Okay, they take. Feel that's committal. What's their ID? Queen e3. Have queen c5. Pretty sure would win. Yeah, they're starting to get in like these positions where the impossible break d4 could be good. Okay, that's of course the idea to give this check. I can challenge. But then, yeah, they will get pawns. So my idea was g5, but I guess then they will switch back. But yeah, what's like... I don't really... So like, let's say queen e2. Don't I just cap that now on c3? I guess they can now sometimes go for queen d3 instead, and again get the impossible break in. There are some, I need to be very aware. There are for sure some tricks in the position. Don't really like believe in it in an objective way. But yeah, rook h8 now. I guess now they can move with the queen on d2. They are defending a2, so they are a little bit more free to move this rook. I now really want to play rook h8. Trade off one attacker. Although then they can have h4, which is slightly annoying, but maybe only slightly. Probably only slightly. Since I keep always like this c3 pawn is the begin and end of all. Since after I trade, I will also be threatening I will also be threatening to trade. Okay, so next again, I guess like all the rook moves, I play rook h. Okay, yeah. Pretty clear intention, but is that sack anything? Now the pawn is pinned. Do I step out of this? Do I really believe him play rook c8? That's really a brave move. I guess then they play rook f1 and I kinda probably can take then. Yeah, anyway, never really can take now with my queen. Okay. And now they're also threatening h4. I think I need to step out of the f-file, but then rook f1 will come. And maybe they are playing this good. Probably shouldn't. Maybe I should have thought about ways to not weaken my king this extremely. Do I run with the king? Is it time to run? Could be. But then again, h4 will come. Don't want. So, let's say one of those still squares rook f1. I guess don't need to be that afraid of this capture, since I am also like just I'm not sure about which square is the most precise, king f8 or queen king f7. Like maybe king f. Yeah, maybe I want to keep the 8 open. Makes some sense. So I think rook f1. Although so I was thinking rook e4 could be option. They take. They are not really then threatening anything more. Can I maybe take on e4? Or I can take on c3 then. They will then also have like a passed pawn in the end. Okay. Is there a better... Since I thought if I move out of here now comes h4 and that feels even more weakening. Although I guess I can then do counterattacks with queen c5 and rook h8. Ooh, that's a good idea. Guess they can block with rook f2. Okay, that's I do a first check, but then they probably don't do that anymore, and then my queen is sort of misplaced. So queen c, so king e8, h4, queen c5, rook f2. And no, I think rook e4. Take this pawn. I don't think rook g5 is such a big threat. Although I guess maybe after I take on e4, there could be some nasty stuff. So queen c5 still on the cards, and I'm taking on e4 on the cards. So if they take on g5, do I first give the check or not? I think now is the time to give the check. since I think they are forced to play king h1 in that case. If they you can take both pawns. You can also take here with the queen. Then they can move their queen something like here. Check. King h1, take here. And then also I will always have backering threats. Kinda want to include the check. I don't think they can do a block. Or maybe they can. No, okay, they anyway don't do it. So here, this is a very scary. But I guess I pre-move this one. They can then come in with on h6. Like, it feels their position is like completely collapsing, but they are attacking me, so they need to find something. I still think, like, if we just trade off pieces, I will be winning. They have the post h pawn now too, but I mean, yeah, I can't, maybe not in a pure king and pawn endgame, but like a rook endgame with all these weaknesses. Should be very favorable for me. Okay. Is there any like... Can't really imagine I can do anything else than this. King, queen h6. With this threat, it's a big candidate. But I feel I just take on d5 and I'm just gonna run my king. And let's see. So queen d3, it's same ideas, but at least not allowing me to take here. Rook g4. And get my rook to g5. And this, okay, they go to that square, makes a lot of sense. I also sort of want to play with rook e5. can also play this one. Since I feel rook endgames should be winning for me, right? Can't imagine them being able to halt that with all these weaknesses. So let's say I play Queen e3. Guess they could try to activate it in this way. Two. Ah, that's a little bit nasty. Queen b5 here. Although I have queen f2. No, that doesn't work yet. And here. Don't think that you can take here, since then I probably have something here. I feel they need to play with queen b5. I want king f7. Don't think they can. And after taking here, I wanted to play queen f2. I guess then they can just come back. Okay, they decide to trade. Like, surely this should be good for me. All these weaknesses. My king is already perfectly placed to stop their weakness, their strength. The king still like needs to, they need to lose a move somewhere to save their back rank. Of course, all rook endgames are drowned, but are they? Nah, maybe this is still like barely drawing. No, don't lose on time. No, no, no. Now I'm just gonna win this pawn since they can't defend it. They can, yeah. Yes. They need to, yeah, lose a time for their back rank, so that's at least an extra pawn for me. And it's not that they will have any great activity after that. I think, yeah, now they probably need to take the time to or play the king, or this pawn are also super weak. Like, I'm already sort of threatening this. I guess rook b1 is now an option. b6. And it's something like rook b5. But that's so passive. Like, go here. Okay. go for that. I don't, of course, don't want to allow them to take this one. Probably still want rook e5 next. They can defend it with b5, but I can also attack this one then. Or I can also, yeah, rook a4 is an option too. But no, like, I don't think I want to allow them like this position, where they defend their two weaknesses. Still probably should be winning, since I have the active and they have the passive rook, but they have this asset always, which makes it kinda hard for me to include my yeah, like it's still so far away. It's not that my king has some freedom, but so next I think rook e5. Except of course if they play okay. This really limits them. Now that rook is stuck here. And a4 I can just grab it. Like what's even that move? Guess they need to go like slap the king over slow. Since if they check here and check and take, okay, they can do it like that. Is this ID is in the position? It's slow in 2, 3, 4 moves. 1, 2, 3. Can also activate my king like this. Probably I want it that way. I guess this is the most flexible move. Then I can still go both directions. Can be anything wrong with it. I think the other plan is a bit too slow. Maybe I go just king f5. So king f3, king f5, king here. And I can just go here. And what do they do? Just need to make sure that I'm in the box. Yeah, but I'm not like forced to trade. This rook is so passive. Okay. I guess I dare to say I'm winning, but I still need to go show good technique. This is for sure still in the margin of being able to mess up. So here. Let's say they make a move. Let's say g4. Can I take here or not? So trade, king f4. Since the direct run, my king is comfortably in the box, and I took pawn. And so the king is here, my king is here. Let's say bad king there. Can't be anything wrong with this one. Like, there are no checks on my king. No. There's like I guess some very elaborate mating net. Like here. If they then can get, yeah, but no, there's always like, I have always one of the squares for my king. But then I would lose this pawn, which not nice, but they need to make like way too many moves in a row for that. So my king was here, their king there, my king here. Yeah, and my king easily gets back to here. And then all my extra pawns will queen themselves. g4, okay. Not okay. Double check. I have more than enough time. h4, you know, I guess queen here. I just get back here, so what can I even do? So trade. Like it's not even like I've even moved a square. Okay, of course. Oh wow, that's one. It's a kind of nice. But let's say I just go back. Now I can block. So this was a mating net I could blunder. That would be a very silly move. That's way too dangerous to show that arrow. They now have this one. So it's probably just play a5, I think. Okay, that's sensible. Let's try to get there. I feel Do I want this? Not sure. I want my king probably over here. Yeah, let's let them make a decision. Which way they want to go with the king. And then I think I go here. But game isn't over yet. I guess I could like play also with b5. Now my rook defends everything. Yeah, except this pawn, which this is so hard to attack. But yeah, I don't need to do that yet. And maybe they can go for activation like this. But I always can block again on c5. Okay, keeping their king close to their assets. Sensible. Yeah, was in my head calculating for a moment if this pawn endgame was also winning, but I think it's also no problem. Okay, I don't think I want to allow that active rook. Now they can be thinking about rook e4, but then I could go for here. And they could then go a4. Maybe instead I start to push my passer. How bad can that be? Okay. I guess they are somewhat threatening. But now I can kick their... I can win this pawn now. Then they will have g5 in the end, but... the... Since yeah, they can't go up since I trade rooks. If they go back, okay, check, take. Then there's g5, but g5 is not. Yeah, no, it's the third pawn. That should be clean enough. It's not that g5 is threatening to win a pawn back. Then they can like sort of mess up my structure, but like by that point, now I will have those two healthy pawns too. that start, yeah, allowing the, okay, they go for this. I think probably still the best practical chance, but like, I don't know. If I can't win this one, I should be forced to give up my board 1 rights, I feel. After, I assume they play g5, okay, h5. I guess starting to push their passer. No, and now they have like maybe sometimes an entry for their king. Like, let's say I just start pushing my passer. Do they have really any major threats? Don't see it. If they play h6, I think I can just go queen g6, king g6, and gobble that up too. So next rook a4, and I just, oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, I feel like I would like to. I'm not sure. Do I want to include rook a4? Maybe I give first a check, and then, since then there would be like, no, I'm not sure. Maybe I just push my pawns. Okay. Guess after b4 they can get behind my pawn. But I cannot just check, push. Like how are they stopping my pawns? Just gonna push them. I guess now could they be threatening g5? But I feel that even if they get g5 in, what are they doing? Okay. They go for g5. But if I play king e6, can they push? Take g7. Maybe they can push. I want to like make their king to make a decision. Okay. I feel like making this more difficult than it should be. Probably at this point I can even like already give my rook for the f2 pawn, so that's winning I'm already. Okay. Now I guess yeah, now they can like do stuff like this. Probably take this. I so misplaced my hook. I think hook b5 It's probably the idea. Which looks a good idea. Yes. So check and then push your pawn. So if I check king here, go here, they take this one, and I'm like only 2 pawns up. So if I step out of here, I push. Check. King needs to go back to one of those. So check, and they have here. Guess I have king g7. They have king f5. Yeah, I guess then I can. No, king g7. And after the check I have here. That should be okay. And so check here. No, basically 2 pawn endgames probably also will be all winning, but if I just can trade one of my pawns for this pawn, then it's finished. Okay, so now check here. Maybe no. Oh, I guess I have this check. So b4 check. B6 check here. For now, no. Yeah, I don't want to like push my a pawn, so that I am taking away the squares of my rook. Like every move feels sort of a little bit annoying. I guess a6 could be, since then after rook a5 I have rook b5. Okay. But yeah, then they have this check, this. Okay, I think a6. So check here. This. Yeah, but then. Yeah, in that position I can take this pawn. No problem. And if they don't take my f6 pawn, yeah, then I do something else. Yeah, I'm ashamed of my technique. And the engine will say, what are you saying? All good, all good. Yeah, if I can get my rook behind the pawn, then it's always easy. Okay, they take. So now I think I just take this one. And still have 3 pawns. That should be fine. If they again want to threaten mates, can go just check and get behind. I guess I even can against king e6 also play d5. Don't think they can take, since check this. So d5, check here. What do they even do? Do they just resign? Guess they have this check still. Okay, so d5, take, here, check. Oh yeah, that's not check, but this. Then they need to give this check, go back. Yeah, that's an easy win height. Can of course also just push my pawns. And maybe not make it more complicated than needed. So push, take, push, here, here. Ah, cool. I like this one. So take, check. I guess this one. And that doesn't work. Okay. Then I'm just gonna push. So a5, take, a4, here. Rook. Yeah, and in this case, I can even like first. And they are very close. a5, take, no, a5, take, a4, here. Say here, this, here. But yeah, is there ever even a drawing technique afterwards? Like I'm always just one square. Just maybe need to get my king. Hi, Susie, if you're in chat. And anyone else, of course, too. But I'm just naming people that I have seen earlier in the chat. Okay, they take, logical. Push. Here. Or do I go a8 instead? Maybe that's even easier, a1. The moment, then I just give a check here. And they all need to go back, and then it's super easy. Or if they go here, I push, and I push. Okay, that's very easy. I guess they have now b4 still. They never can really get on the b file. Next I give a check and I win. Okay. Yeah, probably I was never in any trouble of converting it, but I always, when it takes, feel like so stupid, and like I even need to still think, like it feels that it should be automatic, but it's never with rook and kings. There are always still tricks in the position. Since there are so many drawing mechanisms in rook endgames, that even those that look hopeless, like but here it's really hopeless. Oh, they make still a move. I guess, yeah, that's the way to do it. Yes. But yeah, they're still never really threatening to take here, even if they play king b5. Yeah, as long as I have my rook here. Okay, this is... They keep fighting. So if I give check, now they can play king b5. And so if I after the check, then that's some nice triangulation. Did I somewhat? You're not gonna say me that I messed this one up. Won't have it. It's like just gonna get my king, I guess, in. Okay, is there even like maybe there's not even a way to mess this up? Okay, they go up. Since yeah, I was thinking like here. It's still not really threatening anything here. And if they go here, now I just check and go back there. So I think I just approach with my king. Check. Okay, now I wanted to give this check. Check. King, let's say king g7 here. And they need to go to the back rank, and I just play here. Now the king is cut off. Although then I start to need to make sure I don't blunder any stalemates, but for now they are not yet in the position, I think. Although I need to make sure. Yeah, they are. Let's see. Here. This. There. I guess not really. It's only when the king is on h8, but I will never allow the king to stay on h8. Since otherwise, then let's say I guess they can now play king d3. Oh no, but this not. Felt this one. Oh, I just get my rook to a2. Get my king. That's logical that I attempted this, but I feel this made it easier for me. But that I have said already like 5 times earlier. So I guess we are... Yeah, I was maybe also thinking, since they are like in the evening, like 19 UTC or 20 UTC, one of the two, a lot of like high level league games, so I sort of wanted to cover them too, but I feel, yeah, now the king is just stuck. I just get here. Although maybe this is like still the way to make it difficult. No, I just gonna run my king to h6, I think. And I don't think they can stop that. My king getting to there. But what I was saying, like, but that were like, I would be more tempted to do that if the game didn't take that long. So, since we now are well over 3 hours. And to then do another, and I will already tomorrow stream my I forgot, the rapid battle game against Handknit, candidate master. So then maybe I shouldn't overdo it. I guess I see how I will feel. So let's see here. Feels like to not, you never know that I don't want to allow this to be a check. Probably doesn't matter, but why risk it? Cool. I just want to do this. Okay. So about what can I now talk? Okay, my king. I can also here, and then I have maybe some mating nets. And if they want to check, then I can go for this pawn. Maybe that's even easier. Just need to make still sure that there's still no like secrets, but it's impossible to like have any stalemate since they always have king f8. There's no way to like force me to protect that square. Yeah, and if here then it's easy. Okay. Since now I will be threatening this mate. I guess no. Yeah, they can stop both me getting my king here, very safe, and me, yeah, starting to threaten mates. Okay. Going against to them to fight to the end. Like, probably it's at multiple points. It would have been tempting to resign, but I think they were correct to still play on. Okay. So now I'm threatening mates. And I guess they're gaining a lot of like moves under 1 minute, or if they want to go for that, for the award streams. I could have done that too, but that would be a little bit silly. Choose me. Okay, check. Next here. After which, I again will threaten mate. And threaten promotion and a couple. Okay, so I guess, yeah. Now we need to find. Oh yeah. Okay. How do I now win this one? And maybe this is still not. Still need to figure out how I win this. Okay. I can do check and move my king up, I guess. And they can then go to the corner. That doesn't help me. So check here, check here. How is this again? Is this not the right winning plan? I guess I can yeah, probably that should work. Let's first get the king to the corner. Although then I need to look out for stalemates. Not really. Yet. So here. And I wanted to go here. Maybe I should have just... maybe I'll go like here. Maybe. I wanted my hook on the FA, but maybe that's not at all necessary. But yeah. Anyway, I don't think it makes a big difference. Then I wanted to go rook f6, and then maybe g7, king g6. That looks pretty good. And yeah, they need to keep the rook on the back rank since otherwise it's always mate. But then they can do like this, try to get, no. Then need to make sure. So here, if they then play here rook g8 on the right moment, they yeah, but they can't do that. Since the king will be on g8. So what I was saying, like the moment I push my pawn to g7, they then can play rook g7. That would be a stalemate. But there's not a way to do that. So next, rook f6, g7. I guess they can go with, but yeah, then I guess I will also just do it in another way. But maybe I need to do it rook f5 instead. But after rook, after rook f7, I'm threatening g7. What I'm saying. Okay. So rook f6. I guess now after this move they could probably. So probably I shouldn't have put the rook on the c file. So I want to do g7, king g6, and then wait. In the moment I leave the back rank, I have this mate. But what can I talk? It's hard to, if you can't interact with chat. Like I could talk about NBA, but like it's not interesting if there's no one to interact with. Could talk about how dark it's in Belgium. I guess I can look at some which games. Okay. Oh, that's... I guess I now just move the rook. Wait, then they will go back. Okay. I can go back here, then they have this. So here they need to go back to the back rank, play g7, then they have king here. No, not really. Still have. Guess they have maybe f7 then. I will figure it out. So I think now they need to go back. I will play g7. So g7. That's the moment I need to like start really sure, be really sure. But I think I am. Next I want to play king g6. If they come out, I wanted to play king h7 to threaten, to give a check and promote. If they play rook c8 himself, can just check and take the rook. If they instead go here, can check, promote with check. Don't see what the problem is. Now I see. Oh no. I guess before playing king g6, I need, since king g6, then there is now this one. Which would be very ugly. This is a nice, I almost got trapped. Here. I think rook f6. Since if they now try stuff like that, doesn't work. They need to stay on the back rank since I have otherwise mates, and if they try to give the rook, they have the square. Yeah, and the thing is that after like I next play king g6, then they can again do this trick. I still can't capture, but now I just move the h6 one instead. That was a good last trick. Ugh. Always more tricks in chess. such a tricky game. Okay. Now I think I can play king g6. Let's be 100% sure. If they do this trick, play h6. And there is no problem. If they trade, they can just play here, go here. If they instead, yeah, there's not really anything else, since otherwise I promote. Is there any other tricky moves they can do? Don't think so, since yeah, they need to keep protecting the back rank. Still would play this as I was them. I think there was a real chance I would have blundered that one. So around here. If I hear king g6, I think is a draw. Yeah, there was. It's just insta draw. So oh, there's another like a board 2 game going on. Okay, they go for it, but I play h6 and shoom, resignation soon. Get the insta moving. Or do I pre-move mate? I can also pre-move a mate. There's no way where it's not mate. Yeah, it's or not legal or it's mate. H7. Oh, another board 1 game also starting. But so yeah, it's at 19 UTC that there are a lot of games. Next. Are they really going to play until mates? They can. Okay. GG. I will get a T and then go. Maybe not a T. I will do postmortem on my stream. Okay. Hi all. Okay, see 13 people here now. Thanks, Scotch Whiskers. I guess you are Scotch Whiskey of Lichess. And who is here? Barbie, active as ever, Limuel. polar aces, not and maybe other, but I can't see that directly. Okay, I guess. Okay, let's wait a moment until my opponent maybe comes. It looks like there was also some activity in the Lichess chat. I go to the bathroom and be right back. Okay. What? Oh. Barbie. Okay, I guess I need to do it. I guess I will. I can do a clip afterwards. Okay. So let's go through the game before we lose even more people. And thanks Jake, he ate for the follow. Yeah, problem is like I don't know if I can. Afterwards I can go all the way back with the chat comments, but don't think I can do that during the stream. Oh, they already. Oh, it looks played good throughout. But I'm gonna turn off the engine evaluation. So we got this opening. They play, yeah, they always play with this knight c2. In the past I played always with knight h6. And I think they played with bishop e3. Then I came with a quick f5. Some very interesting games. I guess they played, huh? What? Maybe I played first d6. Yeah, I guess I... Oh, wow! They deviated first. Okay, I didn't realize that. That they first deviated. I thought I was the one that was gonna deviate, but they deviated first. And here, like here we have like many. This game is really like it's super. It's got super wild. But yeah, I played then with this f5, and they should take. And then we have also a game in that line, but in this game they didn't take and they let me play f4, and I got like a King's Indian on steroids, but still didn't manage to win it. But So here, and I knew this was the line, this, and I think here f3 is the move. Yeah, I still have here some games too. So bishop d3, here I was really not sure if I needed to play king a5, knight e4, or maybe just castle. I guess I could still here play with knight b4. Oh, but here I could possibly take, maybe. Maybe that's the reason I need to start with queen e5. Although, after bishop a checks here, probably still not really threatening to take here. But maybe... I'm not sure what the threat is here. Yeah, well, here I took a lot of time in the game. I was really not sure. It's still found, yeah. So it's this idea. Like it looks like my king is stuck in the center, but I'm in time to get it over here. And then I'm just positionally better. But I was also not sure what they should play instead. I guess the comments were only very late about when it was like the final stage. Yeah, I don't know. Like Barbie, about which positions you were commenting. I guess maybe, yeah, it's not like were there any like big moments later on still? Yeah, here I guess it's also a big, well, was big decisions for them, like how they need to get the attack. Here e5, and maybe they needed to start with e5, although I could, there is again like what's really their threat. I can now maybe play with, I have a lot of options here. Cheetah with his daily challenge. He always challenges. It's very funny. Guess maybe. Yeah, but taking here, that's very scary. So e5 here was interesting. Okay, you can say where you think it could have been smoother. Yeah, I think this was like the together with, of course, like the very early opening. I decided this was like how my opponent decided to get counterplay here. Was a big decision there. So yeah, I thought here queen d4, this one. Here, probably wanted to play with queen c5, I think. Although then now maybe they play king h1. I was also thinking about moving the rook here, but I wasn't sure to which square. Maybe something like this. But here I thought maybe they could go for and try to get the e file. And my 7th can be a bit weak. So I wasn't sure about this position either. Maybe I can do something like this. No, no, they defend here. Maybe now. First defend the 7th. And then, yeah, go for capping here. And then later, here I thought I should just give the a-pawn. The queen side is anyway lost. I don't think... I wasn't sure I wanted to take this pawn. Was maybe more going to play here, but at least I felt sort of... Maybe they want sort of a move here. Not sure, but... Maybe... Since yeah, now at least they still could go for this capture. Or they could go now for queen d2. And... oh yeah, maybe let's say right now. And if I now play g5 again, now this is like an improved version for them. I guess now was already a threat here. I know, no, yeah, probably. The simply slot sham. So yeah, here. And then the end, I guess you can see then the end game. Here I thought, yeah, the end game felt very hopeless for them. So I was maybe thinking here queen b5. Here I wanted to play king f7. And I don't think they could take here because I thought now queen f1 was very problematic. I guess they have still rook g1. Oh no, I have this one. But maybe they shouldn't. But yeah, there's maybe now. No. Yeah, what do they otherwise need to do? Maybe get a flight square. Yeah, they put a good. See. When they played king c5. Yeah, they never played king c5. Ah, yes, here. But I guess, yeah, it maybe. For which Taoist lines I almost went? Yeah, here. I guess, yeah, I almost blundered that track, but otherwise I think I was fine. King b6. Ah, okay. So I want here king b6. But yeah, this is still a win, but... Ah, yes, yes, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that one, that was... I almost went for. So here... Indeed. For this idea, right? But it's still winning. But not with... I still just like this. But I indeed almost played this. Missing that here, yeah. They are just in time. Yes, that's true. That I realized just in time. But even if I had played d5, nothing was lost. But yeah, then I just needed to, since I'm already far enough advanced with my pawns, it doesn't matter that my king is that far away. I guess, yeah, not that much more to say. Maybe have a quick look at the engine. Looks like I played it. So here, what does it prefer, queen e5 or knight e5? I guess they are the same. Hi, Samtif, thanks for the follow. From Argentina, okay. Are you mronemore? Are you someone else? Since they are also no, say they are from Sierra Leone. What I'm saying. Well, those flags look like 200 3D. You were saying, or then yeah, you are quite somewhat stronger than me. Although I guess I have a good score against people of 200. So yeah, this ID, although it looks very nice for them, it's probably a flawed concept. Yeah, I'm just positioned. Oh, the engine doesn't like taking on d5 that much. It just wants me to play in the structure. Okay. I felt that that knight was a really nice piece, but I guess it's not doing that much. I can just play here in the structure. Get this at some point. And I felt it's also, I found this was easier. So it looks like here there was maybe something. Okay, this. And here they were fine. Yeah, this rook h3 was a flawed plan. I guess, yeah, they sort of lost the move. They're just here. If I now go, but here I wasn't forced to play g5 yet. But I was thinking about playing g5. And here they maybe have e5 or not. No, okay. Oh no, the rook defends that now. But here, okay, the engine thinks it's still defensible here. I felt, yeah, that it was not that easy to break through for me. But yeah, they need to just keep still. But that's hard. Yeah, I even can now get my king out. They have so many weaknesses. I understand that they went for activity. And here, yeah, they can trade the queens. They need to go. It wants queen b. I guess queen b1. That's like protecting a little bit more, putting pressure on my rook. But yeah, I'm now just both my pieces are just way more active. And they have still all these weaknesses. And king b5 was king f7. Okay. The engine. Oh wow. It doesn't think. So here. What does it want? Ah yeah. Just king b1 back. Okay. Yes. Okay. So it looks like here I myself waited, and then afterwards it was a clean win. Oh, here I guess, yeah, my plan of putting the king here was totally unnecessary. But yeah, like this you still go for that, right? Yeah, now if they can't give this check, so yeah, they can't really force me since then they are not in time. I guess they can. No, they can't really. So now they need to go back. And then I have just a3, and that's a lot easier than how I did it. Okay, makes sense, but... Okay, I guess that's that for today. Thanks for being here.